Kyle, good morning.
Good to be speaking with you again, Damon.
You too, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course.
One of the platforms you've run on is transparency. And why is that so important to you? And have you felt like U.S. soccer has not been transparent over the last couple of years?
No, they haven't. And I think that that's perfectly evident in the fact that that's a part of every candidate's platform, including the inside candidates who have either worked for U.S. soccer or currently working for U.S. soccer. And the reason that's so important is because before we begin to fix a lot of the technical issues that have arisen through an organization that was governed in a dysfunctional way with unilateral decisions made by people that shouldn't be making them, we can't start to address how we help grow the game at the local level, how we lower the cost to play, how we improve identification, improve development, improve outreach to low-income and underserved communities. We can't get to that until we fix a culture that has metastasized over the years. And it's a culture of patronage. It's an opacity that makes it impossible to hold people accountable. It makes it impossible to troubleshoot when good ideas don't get executed or hold people accountable when bad ideas are passed down to the membership. And so the membership have been screaming for years about more transparency and understanding who's making what decision, and also understanding why U.S. soccer gets into business with certain groups. So this is nothing new. It's only coming to light now, and it's only loud enough to hear because of the men's failure to qualify for the World Cup. And I think that's perfectly emblematic of how broken our system is, that the first time in 3 terms we're having an open election, and the only reason we're having it is because of a cataclysmic failure.
Why do you think U.S. soccer was so secretive about all of that?
Well, I want to believe it's not because they have things to hide, but if some of the business relationships that they have and some of the governing issues that seem to be conflict of interest and seem to be counterproductive in terms of growing a game and serving a membership, I'd really want U.S. soccer to come out and help the membership understand that, because whether it's real or perceived, feel is real in the community right now, and the membership feel they're not being served, and they feel that decisions made by this federation currently, and I don't include everyone in that. There's 150, 160 employees. They share this frustration too, the same frustration the membership have of not knowing who's making what decision. And it's absolutely crucial that we elect a leader. And I do believe the membership are speaking right now, and they're going to create a mandate for better transparency, a mandate for a president to full-time work for the members and hold people accountable and create an actual system that exists to serve the game and serve the community, because U.S. soccer has been given many opportunities over the years to put away rumors and to dispel notions of conflict of interest. And they haven't done a good job of answering those questions.
Kyle Martino is running for presidency of U.S. Soccer. He joins us here on the DA show on CBS Sports Radio. So it seems at odds with logic that playing soccer to youth level in the U.S. would be exclusive because it's one of the cheapest games to play, like basketball. As long as you have a soccer ball, sometimes you don't even need a soccer ball. You should be able to play. And yet, so many of the candidates, including yourself, are saying we need to get more people included at a lower level. How did we get to a point where playing soccer in the U.S. at a youth level becomes exclusive?
Because the cost has increased exponentially over the years in terms of participation. So the numbers are still pretty impressive in terms of players who come into the game at that rec local level, anywhere from 4 to 5 million. Now, that's a group that there's 88 million kids in this country between 2 and 18 years old. So, still I think we can do a lot better there. But what's the biggest problem is not the membership. Listen, Iceland is a population of 300,000. So it's not that not enough kids are playing. It's that the retention is terrible. 50% of kids drop out of the game before the age of 10 because the cost as you start moving up the soccer pyramid starts compounding and growing to incredible fees. I mean, $5,000 to $10,000 a year for these young kids to play a game. And so here's what's happening. The Federation has not done a good job of creating confidence with the consumer. The market is such a confusing place. There are many affiliates, there are many different groups who are marketing to parents that at a very young age, where the game should not be professionalized, it's important for parents to put kids into professional environments and travel them all across a country that's the size of Europe. And so the Federation has created this issue by not getting into the marketplace and joining with these groups and 55 state associations and AYSO and SAY and U.S. Club and U.S. Youth Soccer. There are many great people working in this game, and they're not predisposed to want to fight each other or steal each other's players. But it's basically Lord of the Flies out there because the marketplace isn't defined in a democratic way, having these people join with us to design the architecture and the pathway for young players, and then keep costs low by using our surplus, using our budget, and using our strategic partners to keep the game affordable. And if we don't right now elect someone that understands that, the exodus of players is going to continue. Participation's down 25% from last year. Cost continues to go up. And Mia Hamm said this to me, and it blew me away. She said, Kyle, the epidemic that's going on right now is that the players aren't having fun anymore. These kids aren't having fun like we did when we played the game. So we must act now.
You mentioned and defined missing the World Cup as cataclysmic. How many years do you think missing the World Cup sets back American soccer?
You know, I think it's more the optics of the failure than the reality it's going to have massive long-term effect. I mean, it's cataclysmic in that many easy things could have been done to avoid that. There were a couple of unilateral decisions that caused the collapse. A lot of the signs were there, kind of like the financial crisis we went through in 2008. All the signs of defaults and other things that people were speaking about, all of that was there, but the men qualifying for World Cups and the women winning them and winning golds, it papered over cracks. So this will hurt revenue for sure, and Dan Flynn, the CEO that runs the business, is having to deal with how that will impact their strategy in the short and long term. There will be fans that are casual or just coming into a bar this summer and won't get the excitement and the hook of their team and their country playing in the greatest sports tournament in the world. But the only thing that could be enormously detrimental, I mean, seriously, this is the priority right now, and this could be devastating to soccer in this country. If we fail to get the 2026 bid and bring the greatest tournament on the planet back to the U.S., 1994 is still the highest attended World Cup ever. I mean, it would be a seminal moment that would blow this whole thing up in a way that fans that love it get to see it in the flesh, and fans that haven't fallen in love with it yet, it's unavoidable. There's an inertia. So if we miss that, that's something that could be incredibly detrimental. So I'm uniquely positioned with my ability to sell the game. It's what I do on TV every weekend, but also my connections to make sure that we create a very, very strong, compelling bid. You know, David Beckham and Thierry Henry writing me letters of recommendation. I mean, that's just because of the integrity and the passion I have. And Sunil Gulati is the one that's going to lead this, and other candidates are trying to sort of sell that they have relationships that will help us get this World Cup bid. In reality, it's just redundant because Sunil Gulati, whatever your opinion is, good or bad, he's the one that's going to lead this World Cup bid forward, and it's his relationships that we'll have to lean on, and we need someone else that can help sell why the tournament coming here is good for soccer globally and is great for not only this country, but our North American partners, Mexico and Canada.
It's a unique position, the presidency of U.S. Soccer, because unlike, let's say, commissioner of the NFL, you deal with 32 owners there. With soccer in the U.S., you are dealing with World Cup bids, you're dealing with television contracts, you're dealing with youth soccer, you're dealing with MLS soccer, you're dealing with almost everything, transfer windows, etc. So are you ready to be able to deal with the tentacles of all of these things coming into your office if you get this?
Well, you know, I've seen a bit of the ugliness that has been created with this culture over the years. This insulated power structure that has atrophied good people that care about this game and people that have made great decisions to move it forward. they're out of touch with the membership. So I know I have a massive challenge to help a board see what they haven't been able to see, a board that is culpable in this mess because Sunil Gulati made decisions that they're saying now he shouldn't have, and they should have known that. They should have protected us from that. And they still need to be educated and connected in a way that doesn't currently exist. And the right leader can do that. And here's the leader I'll be. No one person can change this thing. No one person can do all the things that you just mentioned. One person can be a conduit, though, and show the requisite humility to admit they're not the expert in all categories, the courage to tackle all of these challenges, the technical nous to understand where we fix the soccer product, because right now the business is going well. The budget has quadrupled over 10 years. The surplus has done the same. But if you don't have someone in there that understands where that money needs to be spent at the bottom, on the product, on the grassroots where you grow a culture, you could raise the budget by 10x and the surplus by 10x, and it still won't help soccer in this country if you don't have people distributing that revenue back in areas that are truly going to make this game grow and thrive. So I'm up for the challenge. There are many great people that work for U.S. Soccer currently, and there's some that don't, that need to be hired. And I'll be the president that doesn't try to be the expert in all categories, but has the reputation and the ability to bring people to the table to work on a common goal.
Longtime MLS veteran, a member of the U.S. men's national team, NBC sports analyst, and now nominee for the U.S. presidency for U.S. Soccer, Kyle Martino, joining us here on the show. Follow him on Twitter at Kyle Martino. Kyle, I very much appreciated our conversations the last couple of weeks, man. Thanks so much. Good luck with this, and I'm sure we'll be in contact in the future.
All right. Thanks so much, Dan.